happened to chivalry? Does it only exist in 80s movies?
Yeah, you always have to pay.
The dating pool has pee in it. Don't do it.
Like, I died 3 days ago. Somebody caught me outside.
It's too much for me.
I want to take my mama's name off my emergency contact.
This is not 40 years ago. Like, right. What are you about to read the Constitution? Like, please sit down. That's so embarrassing.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Rick.
This is Deb.
This is LMC Talk. We're talking about love, marriage, and of course, everything can be discussed over a great cup of coffee.
That's right.
Hey, listen, we got a banger today, all right?
Yep.
We got something awesome today to cover, and we got some awesome people with us as well. So, but first of all, we're gonna start off with our tidbits, all right? So let's get into it.
All right, even before we get into our tidbit, you guys, so we're here today to cover a few things. We're gonna get into some single things today, okay? So we got some ladies that are beautiful, eligible, but not in for the foolery or antics, to break some questions down. And hubby here, he'll be by his lonesome to be the voice of reason for the men. Okay.
I'm so lonely.
We'll have another episode for you guys. All right. And what is our topic, babe, actually?
All right, so the topic we're gonna cover today is chivalry dead. Okay.
Whatever happened to chivalry? Does it only exist in 80s movies?
It's a pretty big topic, but I think this is really important for us to cover. I mean, because
I think it's dead.
Could I finish? Could I finish my thought before?
I'm sorry. It's just
before you come in. Could I do that first?
I think we're at the graveyard with chivalry, y'all. But okay, go ahead.
I've been dating since I was 15. I'm exhausted. Where is he?
Who? The White Knight?
That only happens in fairy tales.
Chivalry is not dead, yo. I don't know what she's talking about.
All right, but
that's what we're gonna talk about today.
So that's what we're gonna talk about, and we'll let our guests tell us what they think about it, since there's still actively out there single ladies.
First thing we're gonna do is some introduction. So we're gonna start off with our three ladies here. Let's introduce yourselves if you don't mind. Go ahead.
Hey everyone, I'm Jamala, or Jay. I live in sunny South Florida, and I'm happy to be on this call.
What up, Jay?
What's going on? Hey. What else we got?
Hey everyone, my name is Azia. I also hail from South Florida, but I do currently live in Central Florida. I'm excited to be here with you all tonight.
This is Z in the house. What up, Z?
And last but not least, of course.
Hi, my name is Rochelle. Most people call me Shelly, and now I live in New York, so I'm excited to be here.
Oh, Shelly, what's up, girl?
All right, awesome.
All right,
so we're gonna run over some
tidbits. This is a tidbit.
Yes,
all right, the trials of modern dating have led many women to bemoan the fact that chivalry seems to have keeled over and died. We personally think it just morphed a bit rather than disappeared completely. So,
wait, so you say they're saying it morphed a bit, but it hasn't really died.
Right.
That's what they're saying on that.
Right. Some are saying that it keeled over and died, and some are saying it just morphed a little bit.
That's interesting.
So we will see what it really is.
So you think it's because of the times? Maybe it has morphed a little bit because it's not exactly what it was back in the day.
And we'll go over some of the things that we used to do that we don't do anymore.
Okay, all right, so let's do it.
And then our guests will help us with that. But I saw this and I thought it was interesting, you guys. I have a few questions here that I know single women are probably tired of hearing. And some of these questions are, who are you dating these days? How come you're not dating anyone? How could a woman like you still be single? Anything resonating yet?
Everything.
All the above.
Are you opening yourself up to love? Are you afraid of love? Are you putting yourself out there? Do you think you're being too picky? All right.
So those are like questions.
These are questions that people ask.
Always be asking.
And when I'm done, is there anything that you guys resonate with yet with any of those questions?
All of them.
Yeah, all of them. They all hit home.
She said all of them.
Is it because you're always working? Maybe you should date someone from work. Does it bother you that your friends are engaged or married? Do you think maybe you're giving off the wrong vibe? Would you be interested if I set you up with so and so? Because you know when you're single, they always trying to set you up with
Everybody
somebody.
trying to set you up all the
somebody
time.
that it's not even in your type or your league, and you're like, what are you doing? Okay, have you considered online dating? When was the last time you went out on a date? Do you ever get lonely? Or is it because you just like one type? You should explore other types. So that's the questions that they say that single women normally get. So I want you guys to chime in on that for a little bit and tell me if these are the questions that you actively get and how do you handle some of these questions, and are these questions accurate, or some of them anyway?
I guess I'll take a shot at it. I think those are very accurate questions that I get all the time. And I'm just like, the number one is, why aren't you dating? And my first response is, because the dating pool is pissy. 0 out of 10, don't recommend it at all. Like, it's terrible out here. But those are questions that we get all the time. And it is that space of sitting and reflecting and be like, well, you know, Zia, you could not work as much as you are, as much as you do. You could not do that some. And it's like, are you being a little picky? And I could be. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. I think those are all very valid questions that are very asked very often.
Wow. Now, it's the first thing you said for me. You said that dating pool is what?
It's pissy, okay? The dating pool has pee in it. Don't do it.
Pee in it.
Yo,
Don't.
So elaborate on that. Elaborate on how much pee exactly is in that pool. That's funny to me.
These guys are interesting. Like, they don't want anything. They kind of just want to chill. They don't really know what they want. They don't know what they want to do. It's let's hang out. Let's kick it. No, sir. Go kick it with your friends. I don't want to kick it with you. What are we doing? And I guess I'm just kind of in that space, which is for me a disadvantage because I am younger. So talking to guys in my age range, which normally never happens, that's really what I deal with.
And when you say younger, do you mind telling me how old you are?
I am 25 years young.
Okay, so you're pretty young. Okay. So, and you are dating with an intention, because you're saying you don't want to date just to date. You want to date to get married and have children. Is that what it is?
Absolutely.
Got it.
Absolutely.
I got a question for you, Z. So the guys that you talk to, you tend to go with older guys than younger guys, right? Because you think that the older guys, at least they have somewhat of a
maturity
idea of what they're going to be doing in the future, or they have some kind of a insight with that. Is that the case?
Yes and no. Believe it or not, guys my age don't normally approach me. It's normally older guys that approach me, which is fine by me, because once I start telling them, like, I have a degree, like, I'm working, I live on my own, I do all of this, they're like, okay, you're established. Versus guys my age, the problem is they're like, oh, you're too settled for me. What? You aren't here to play. Like, you're looking for something serious. And I'm like, well, why am I dating if I'm not? I don't got time to waste my energy fooling around with you. So for me, that's kind of what I deal with, and that's where I am in that.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
All right. So, Jay or Shelly, do you have anything to add to that? Zia said a mouthful right there.
Yeah, I'd say the questions you asked were spot on completely. And yeah, I'm with Zia. And unfortunately, even with those older guys, they still aren't necessarily ready or prepared for something serious. And I come at a place where you should feel the weight of me. So you shouldn't, I'm postured in position to be found. So if you found me, you should be coming correctly. And I don't think, I say that because we're having discussion about it, but obviously when I'm on a date or someone meets me, I think they just get the gist of that without me having to say any of it. So I don't, and then it's just a place of, yeah, like, you're too serious. And I think the rap that a lot of women who are intentional get is like, oh, you're looking to be married tomorrow and I'm not proposing tomorrow, and that's not true at all. We're just looking for true intentions to be stated so we know where we are, so that we can move forward into something at some point serious. Like, I want to take my mama's name off my emergency contact expeditiously if possible. However, you know, I'm obviously willing and wanting to get to know someone for their true value and character. So that's a big place that I, you know, with the dating is just, it's murky water. So I'm with Azia. A lot of people are fickle. A lot of men fall in the FOBO, so fear of better options. And you can feel that even in dating, and no one wants to feel like an option. So I say, if I'm ever an option, don't choose me, because I'm enjoying single life. It allows me the freedom to travel, allows me the freedom to focus on additional endeavors. So if you're coming and they're serious, then I can switch gears. But if you're coming and I sense that you're about to play with me or anything in my life, I'm pretty much falling back.
Okay.
It's hard out here.
So one thing you said that kind of like resonated with me is when you said the weight that comes with you. Do you think they're afraid of that weight? It's that presence, that weight that you carry. Is that what you think that kind of scares them off a little bit? Even it goes without saying. You may not say it, but you walk, or you know, you carry yourself with that weight, and they feel intimidated by that weight.
I believe so, but in the same breath of them sensing that and saying that, they'll also say, like, I feel super comfortable with you, and I let them know I have no heaven nor hell to put you in. Like, I can't judge you about anything, right? But they still know the seriousness that comes with, okay, well, if we're gonna start dating, a relationship is expected, or, you know, we can then choose which way we're gonna go, but a choice has to be made, right? I'm not just gonna keep you in my back pocket. You're gonna add weight to me, unnecessary weight. So maybe they get intimidated, but I've dated men among different ranges of careers, different places in their life, and it's almost the same thing. So I'm not too sure if there's some trauma there, or maybe I need to, you know, change my energy, which I'm willing to do, but it's kind of sometimes not always a conversation. It's kind of just a ending, and it fizzles off, and I'm okay with that.
Just as from a guy's perspective too, I can actually, when I used to date way back in the day, guys can feel it. Guys can feel it when a girl.
How long ago was that back in the day?
See, here we go, man.
Exactly. When you say way back in the day, because we've been together for a long time. How long?
I was like, you know, like back in the further back there. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Way, you know, Stone Age.
All right. So tread lightly, okay?
So I'm saying, like, when a lot of times guys can feel that, okay? They can feel the weight of it, but the important part of it is that he's got to react to it the way that kind of similar to where you are in your life. And she seems as though she has no room for any kind of foolishness that's going on. And she's a catch. Then he's got to, you know, in his mind say, well, you know what? She looks like she's serious. I'm only going to pursue this if I'm serious as well, because she looks like she's serious, and we can feel that weight.
But they don't want to give up what they think they got in the streets. What they think.
Yeah, I mean, commitment is not an easy thing for guys. Sometimes I can tell you that it's one of those things that is a little scary, because you feel as though you're you know, the grass is greener everywhere else. But I mean, that's a good point though. What about you, Rachel? What do you think?
I think I'm pretty like the opposite, in the sense of like, I'm very picky, like even with food, like I pick everything out of a burger. So like I'm the same with guys. Like it's kind of like, if you eat toast weird, I'll be like, I don't know, I can't marry you now, because then I have to listen to you eat toast. So it's just like, I could be that way sometime, and I try not to be. But I agree with her point about the FOBO thing, like fear of better options. I've never heard that term. But yeah, those are all questions that we get. And I feel like sometimes men and women are raised almost opposite. Like men are raised to like make money and stuff, and women are raised to like get married. So it's like the stuff we're raised for are not aligning, considering that we end up with each other. So it's like, that's terrifying, because it's like, yeah, this guy's, he has money, he has all that, but you think he's gonna want me to be at work every night, he's gonna want me to be home, he's gonna want me to cook, he's gonna want me to clean, like, and your own dreams. So it's just very hard to like do that right now, because this pool, like she said, like, is pissy. Like, if you're picky, it's so hard to swim in this pool. Like, it's like, once you be drowning, and like, so it's just, so I agree with all the points, and yes, those are all questions that we definitely get. That's like a lot of pressure, because I don't feel like anyone here is that old. So it's like, to have all that pressure so fast, it feels like you're on a clock, like a biological clock. So yeah, it's definitely a lot of pressure, but you know, that's how I normally deal with it.
Yes. All right. So we'll get into the chivalrous part of things.
Yeah.
And one of the things that when we ask, is chivalry dead? And I want you to chime in as I start mentioning them. You know, it's no, you know, you don't have to like wait. Like, so when does a guy always have to pay for your meal if you guys go out to a restaurant?
No.
You guys are okay with paying?
What?
Yeah, you always have to pay. If we're dating and we're together in a relationship, no, because now we're in a relationship. But if it's a date, you are paying for my date. Like, you asked me on a date.
Yes, first date, yes.
First date, you need to pay.
All y'all agree on.
Who raised you?
That's different. But it's like, no.
So on the wait. So let me make sure. On the first date, you say the guy's got to pay on the first date.
Yes.
Agreed.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
What about opening doors?
Yes, I will stand at the door and wait.
The car door, the front door, any door. He has to open all the doors, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait. So, okay. So, is this the same thing where it's on the first date kind of thing, or you need him to do this throughout the dating process? If you got second dates, third dates, you think this is what he should be doing, just period?
I'm gonna say, if you're just doing it for the sake of the date, just spare me. Because if I get used to you doing that and then you don't notice, and you don't do it, I notice things very quickly, and when patterns change. So it then kind of like, red flags start going off, like, what else are you putting on a show for, performing for? I think I'm more picky about a protection aspect. So if I'm walking on the side of the road or the street, then I prefer to see the man move that way. But as far as opening doors, if you walk slow, I'm pretty much a fast walker. And Shelly, who's in New York, you're probably a fast walker too. If you walk slow to open the door, like, I'm not waiting there for him to open the door. We got somewhere to be. Like, so I think I'm more impressed with, okay, you're definitely going to pay on the first date, right? And then the expectation of showing somewhat of that you are a protector by doing things like moving me from getting hit by a car. Can you do that?
Got it.
See, I don't think. Oh man, this is not even fair to some of the dudes, because, like, at the beginning, it's like you start judging the guy from the beginning. If he opens the door, if he doesn't open the door, it's like a lot for the guys too. Because, all right, so now he opens the door.
What if he didn't grow up like that? What if he didn't grow up like that?
No, I'm saying, like, so now he opens the door, and now he already set a standard for the entire evening. So now every time, you know, something's coming up, you want him to pull your chair out, or you see him doing small things, you're going to be like, what is this guy up to? Does he want something from me? You start, you know, making gauges and stuff. So it's like we can't even win when it comes to that. Sometimes, and if we don't do it, then we're like, oh, where did this guy grow up? Is he a caveman? What is this guy, you know, what's his problem?
I think you can win, Rick. I recently went on a date and I was shocked. He was like, do you want me to open the door? And I was like,
oh, he asked you.
Like, where we were, it was getting into the car. It was such a weird space. It was just unnecessary. Like, he probably would have got stuck. Then I would have got stuck. Like, he needed to get in the car, move the car, and then I needed to get in. So he was like, do you need me to open the door? Or you're good. And I was like, I'm good. So I think you can win. I think it's a question of it. If her response is, my expectation of you is to open the door, then you can decide if that's the girl that you want to continue to pursue. And if so, you know, live up to that standard. Yes, appease me, because she's going to appease you in other ways. And it could formulate into anything, whether it be support with your business, support in you playing video games, or whatever it is that you like. You know, I think women definitely form into that person for you, where she can see where she where you need her most. So
yeah, that's
open the door. Open the door.
Yeah, like for me, opening the door is not a deal breaker. However, I don't think it's for show. I think you just have to know how to maneuver when you get into certain situations. Now, if we are going somewhere fancy, if we just go into the supermarket and you open the door, you know, we just hanging out like the movies, you ain't got to open the door now. If we pull up, right, and you gonna do valet and we at a fancy restaurant, Negro, open the door, okay? So I'm gonna need you to open the door. I'm gonna need you to open the car door. I'm gonna need you to wait at the door and open that door and any other doors involved in the situation. Now,
so
because
you're more like, okay, it's the setting, right?
It's a setting for me.
What are we going to do?
Right, like, yeah. So for me, it's a setting type situation. If you're going to the supermarket,
that's fair.
I could be the homie. I don't care if you open the door, but you know, just don't leave me hanging when we out there. It kind of looks weird because I've seen it and it looks weird. That's just for me. What about pulling out your chair?
See, they would go with the standards again.
Same concept as you just said about what you were talking about. It's the same thing. Like, yeah, if we're somewhere where it's just gonna make it complicated for you to pull out my chair, like you're gonna have to literally walk. You know, you have to know where you are. That's also like another thing I'm picky about. Like, you need to know, like, okay, if we're all sitting on pillows at a Korean restaurant, it's okay. Like, just go to your seat. Now you're just disturbing the feng shui. Like, but if we're somewhere with real chairs, like, pull out the chair, because it's manners and kind of knowing that I like that. If you see that I think it's sweet that you do that and then you decide to never do it again, I feel like that's kind of a red flag. Like, oh, she thinks that's sweet, let me never do it again.
Do it again. Yeah.
Wow. That's interesting.
Wow.
I've met men like that, and they'll be like, well, you're just spoiled. And it's like, wait, what happened?
Yeah.
So that's the first and the last date. All right.
So I personally don't really care too much about the chair deal. I'm a little socially awkward, and like the whole pulling it out and knowing when to sit and pulling, it's too much for me. I'll pull it out myself, sir. It's okay. I'll do it. If you want to stand, okay, but for my anxiety, for the sake of me, no, it's too much.
Fair enough. It's what you like, it's whatever works. I think that's what Jay said. It's kind of whatever works, but that's fair enough. So what about, and I'm gonna run through these really quickly. What about him helping you with your coat? Do you need that or no?
It's considerate. Those are things that I think are like super cute. Like, wow, he stopped to do this. If he doesn't, like, I'm not gonna throw a temper tantrum about it. But if he does, it's like, okay, sir, I see you.
Okay. What about sharing your umbrella when you forget yours? Or giving you,
I would hope so. Like, if you just let me get soaked.
Or wait. Let me even go a little bit deeper. What about him giving you his umbrella and he kind of is getting wet? But
that's even more cool points. Because that's so cute.
See, wait. Okay. Because see, that's what I'm talking about, man. Chivalry is not dead. That's what I'm trying to say. It's just like what you said earlier, right? It kind of did some morphing when it comes to just the time period that we're in and everything else. But I believe that guys doing those little things, it's still score points. No, for real, like.
Yeah, but are they doing it though? Are they? Yeah, it's cool. It is cool. It is cool. But are they doing it? Is what we're saying.
So are they? I mean, you guys are active.
Right. Are they doing anything?
I'll say I've had to prompt people. So a lot of people need to be prompted.
Prompted,
like,
really?
If you walk to the door first, like at that point, similar to what we've been saying, keep the door open for me. Like, why would you just walk through it and, okay, slap somebody in my face? Or can you share your coat so I can cover my hair? It's raining. Like, you don't need a prompt. I think it's just, at that moment, I just think like they're either very self-centered or they haven't been on a date in a long time. And it's somewhat of it's about a half a red flag. It's an orange yellow for me.
Yeah. What about waiting for you to sit first before he does?
Excessive. That's, you don't have to do that.
Okay. All right. Moving right along. Letting you order first at a restaurant.
I think that's cool.
That's
to let
cool. I've
the
never
lady
even thought
order
about
first.
that, to be honest.
I think that's cool though.
I'd honestly probably throw it on him just for the sake of seeing what he's gonna order. That's just me, not for any like chivalrous reason. But now let me see what you're gonna order first, and then
There's a little bit of
That range. Like, what can you?
right. Like I don't want to come order the steak that costs like $50.
Oh wow! You want to see what he could afford?
Picked up a $15 something. Okay, let me.
So you want to see if he could afford a lobster?
You see, he says, "Hey, you know."
Debbie's laughing. They're broke, Debbie. The men are broke. They don't got it.
That's a lot of pressure, man. That's not even. So now, okay, the guy says, you said, okay, order for the table for us, and the guy said, well, let me just get like that chips and dip right there, and that and some water, and you're looking like, So if the guy doesn't say, hey, let me get one of a bottle of champagne, just a full bottle is fine. Just bring the. So if he doesn't do that, you're like,
and the filet
okay.
mignon.
Well, not even at the beginning. Just like so you're like, he ordered chips. That means I probably shouldn't order nothing too expensive then, because I don't know what the money looks like if he's ordering chips and water.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So it's a lot of pressure, man. I don't know.
I don't know. So for me personally, it's kind of just how my mom raised me. It was one of those, you don't go to a restaurant and pay more than what the person that's paying is ordering for. So I'm kind of like that with everybody wherever I go. So I just try to be mindful of what they're ordering. Not for I don't know what his pockets can handle, but let me be considerate because he's not ordering as much and it's not my tab.
Got you. Okay.
So she kind of watched to see what he's going to order,
it's
and
a gauge for
know
her.
the direction of where she probably should be ordering too. I don't know.
Yeah. For me, I think he has to let me order first, because you can't just sit down and just start like, yeah, man, I'm hungry, so just give me that and that and that and that. You're supposed to turn to me, to the lady, and said, what do you want?
Yeah, what do you want?
Tell the waitress, go ahead and take her order first.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
For me, I think that's cool.
So, ladies, are you saying that are these guys doing any of these things right now? I mean, are they doing anything like that right now?
When I think about it, to Debbie's point, I've had men do that.
Okay.
I don't know the weight behind it though.
Yeah.
Got it. What about a man standing when a woman leaves the table? Like, say you leave the table to go to the restroom, or you enter a room and the man stands. Is that like too much of the old time chivalry for you, or would you guys still like that?
This is not 40 years ago. Like,
right.
What are you about to read the Constitution? Like, please sit down. That's so embarrassing. Like, you also need to be cultured when you're dating. Like, you need to know what's going on currently. Like, don't again disrupt the restaurant to stand up 6'6" in front of people food. Just sit down. Just sit down, please.
Yeah, I think that's socially awkward right now to do something like that, to stand because I'm leaving the table. I think it's just too much.
All right, so do you like it when men practice those? Is it like a deal breaker is what I'm really saying? So all of them that we've covered so far, and I know there are tons, right? But is it like a deal breaker for you as far as you getting even further into the relationship if they don't do them? If they do, some acts are, like you said, overdone. So if they do it, are you offended? Or is there anything else that you'd add to the list that you would like for men to do that they're not doing that's chivalrous? You know what I'm saying? Like you said, we're in new age.
Yeah.
Are there new things that you would like men to do that they're not doing?
I think in general, say I'm leaving the bathroom, like if I've been gone too long, I think it makes a difference to kind of like send a text and check in, like if I've been gone too long. We live in a different world, so it's important to check in. I think that's where chivalry should go, more of, again, like a protection aspect. So similar with, if you drop me back home after the date, did you make sure I got in safely? the idea of chivalry where men walk you to the door at night, that doesn't happen anymore at all. And yeah, that's not happening. You get out the car and they may, don't pull off before I get into my home, send a text message, even just stating, whether you thought the date went well or whether it didn't go well. I think there's this new thing of acting like you don't care, and it'll be 3 days later where you're hearing from someone like, I died 3 days ago, somebody caught me outside, okay, you laid me out, like, you where have you been? You kind of want to say those things. And at this point in age, if you were to say that point in time, if you were to say like, hey, well, where you been, then it's like, oh, pressure, and they kind of just fold. And it's like, no, this is like my safety. How do you expect to date me and you didn't even check on me at all? Right. So that's something that I'm not seeing happen, or there's like this huge lag in time, and very lackadaisical about almost everything. Just very, I'm too cool to care, or when I get to is when I get to.
See, oh man, this is just a bad thing for guys, just like I said before, but sometimes the guys get programmed this way as well, going on dates, because they figure that most women want the bad boy type, and the more we ignore you and the more we treat you with less respect, the more you'll probably say, this guy is a lot more interesting than the boring guy I went out with last week that pulled my chair out every second I got up. So I don't know if the time has changed in that regard or nothing like that, but I can tell you that guys sometimes they will not call, even though they really like you. They will not call for 2-3 days because they're saying, I'm going to look like I'm desperate. No matter how much they like you, I'm going to look like I'm desperate. I don't want to call too early with this girl. And then you're thinking like, I thought that date went really well. I would like for him to call. And he doesn't. He doesn't want to look desperate. And then sometimes he's gauging to see if you're going to send him a text to say, that'll probably trigger him to do other things. Because he's like, I don't want to seem like I'm pushy.
He could probably be waiting on her too.
He's probably waiting on her too. I mean, let me ask you guys that. Is it okay for somebody to not call for 2-3 days after a really great date? Or are you okay with that?
Jamala said no. She just said no.
Well, she said no. So what about you, Rachel and Zia?
That's a no-go. It's a no-go. Like, I literally just had that happen where somebody's son was texting me on Friday, and I didn't hear from him until Sunday. And I was just like, sir, Jesus is the only person that can disappear on Friday and reappear on Sunday. Like,
I cannot with Zia, okay? I cannot.
Wow.
Like, that literally just happened over the weekend. No, sir, don't play with me. Play with your mama. Thank you.
Block and delete. Block and delete. I am no longer user not found.
Wait. So how many days? No. Come on, guys. No, wait. Okay. Let me ask, because, all right. So you and the guy has a really. All right. So you guys have a really good date, right? How long do you think is too long for him to try to contact you again? Like, if you guys have a really good date. What is too long?
You want him blowing up your phone
you
want him blowing up your phone as soon as you get in, and then in the morning, and then the next morning, and then the next evening, and then
you're gonna hear, oh, this guy's a stalker, man. I
want to know it's balance and communication. Like, you can communicate. Like, a lot of you guys said you date like older men or men that are older than you. So if you're an older man, you might have a business you're running, you might be traveling, whatever. So I understand, like, you're in meetings all day. So if you took me on a date on Sunday, you might not even be available again until Tuesday if you're really the successful guy that I think you are or whatever. But then communicate that, like, hey, I had a really good time on the date. I'd like to take you out again. I'll be available on Wednesday. If you're free, can I give you a call? That's not that hard. I don't see why you can't do that. Get your assistant to do it. Whatever. You're rich. Or whatever tax bracket you're in, do it yourself or get someone to do it, whatever it is. But I don't really think there's much of an excuse, like, to not communicate with someone that you had a good time with, in my opinion.
Fair enough.
So 2 days is too much. Like, if he doesn't say anything at all, like, there's like just, you feel like you're getting ghosted. Like, 2 days pass and it's like, 2 days is too much then.
Yeah, it's just weird.
Okay.
Fair enough. I mean, hey.
No, that's
because I kind of agree with you guys. I think, like, if it was a really great date, I expect to hear from you within a day. I mean, I don't want you stalking me all day now. I don't want you to be a full-on creep. But I need to like hear from you so I could kind of gauge and said, okay, so he did like me as much as I liked him. But I wanted to ask you guys, why do you wait on a guy? Why you can't text him to say, hey, it was a great date?
Yeah.
Because it's his job. It's his job.
I have no problem with doing that. I'm a person that believes that the pursuit should be mutual. At a certain point, the pursuit should become mutual. I don't think that a guy should just chase a girl forever. Ma'am, give him a little something that let him know that you're interested. So I have no problem with saying, hey, I had fun. Like, I enjoyed it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I believe in reciprocity all the way around also. And depending if there was connection, I may, be excited and be like, and before I go to bed, say, hey, like tonight was fun. Like it was dope. The connection was cool. And then if it just goes blank, what I see is it'll go blank, days will go by, and then I'll find you watching my stories on Instagram. How did you get there? We haven't had any communication since then. What happened? So I know you're not in the hospital. Nothing's occurred to you. You're watching Instagram stories, my stories, but yet you still have nothing to say. It's very weird.
Oh my God.
Dating is just, again, 0 stars right now.
Oh my God, you guys are so funny. All right, I just have a few quick more questions and then we could go. What's the most awkward date y'all ever been on? One awkward thing that happened in the date. I'm trying to help you guys out there because these girls are beautiful, okay? So I'm trying to help y'all so y'all know what to do and what not to do, okay? So I hope you guys are listening. All right, what's the most awkward date y'all have ever been on?
I think when you do stuff by water, you have to be very careful, like when you have dates on boats or things like that, because yeah, he had a date by the water and we had the date itself on the dock. And he almost fell in the water like 3 times during the date. And all I was thinking is like, the only person coming out here is the person who cooks. So I'm like, if he falls in the water, am I gonna have to jump in and save him? And he almost fell 3 times. It's like, bro, like maybe you should have just had the date on land, like full land. Like, so if you don't, like if you're gonna panic, then maybe you should make sure you're having a date somewhere where you're comfortable for both people. Like it's okay, like to kind of gauge the person and like try to have it at a place where you're both comfortable. Clearly he wasn't comfortable with water, so I don't know why he chose a water scenery. I get it, he wanted to impress, so I'm not saying he was wrong. It's just pick some place you're comfortable too. So that's what made it awkward for me.
Okay, I get it. What about you, JRZ? Any awkward dates? Oh, not all.
I can't really think of anyone, but comfortability is definitely important. I think I can sense it quick, and I kind of like socially awkward sometimes, but not necessarily to date, but to be a friend. I think again, I can only take on but somebody else's isms and schisms. So I guess just being uncomfortable, like the date that I can think of, it was a double date, and it was just like he just kept fidgeting, and it was the most annoying thing. And for me, I just have a point where I'll just say, stop moving, or do you want me to hold your hat? Because it was something like very obvious where he kept putting his hat on, taking his hat off, putting his hat on. And I was like, and then it went to his sunglasses, and it was just like, do you feel comfortable? Is everything okay? Because then it made me start questioning myself, like, do you feel comfortable here? And we've been discussing prior to the date. We've kind of been talking.
What if the guy's OCD, man?
So it was just like very, very odd.
He was probably nervous.
Much. And then, so from that double date, I then invited him to friends. So I would say to meet with friends. We were doing game night. And I stated who I knew in the room and who I did not know in the room. And he proceeded to like introduce himself and say like, oh, whenever you're on this side of town, like come hang out and yeah, just let me get your number. And it was just like, why are you taking people's numbers? I don't even know them. Like, what is wrong with you? Don't do that. It was just, and they didn't click like that. I could see the tenseness and the uncomfortable look from the people that he was asking for the number. It was just really
Yeah,
really funny.
That's awkward. That's very much awkward.
It was a lot. And these were men, other men. It was just very weird.
What about you, Z?
So I don't even know if this is considered a date or not, because it was so weird. Like, it was this guy, like, we ran in the same circle, like, and we still chit chat from time to time, like he was a cool guy. But it was like we weren't really like talking or constant communication. Like, it's like, hey, how are you type deal every now and then. And it was just, we ended up going to like Chili's one day. But it was just so weird. Like, the whole thing, I was just like, what is going on? And again, I'm already a little socially awkward. Did not help. So that was probably like the weirdest thing ever, because it was really just like, yeah, what is happening? I'm just gonna sit here and eat my honey chipotle chicken fingers right now. That's all I got in me right now. It was the first and the last.
Of course, wow.
Man, see, and there goes the pressure again, man, for guys to perform with this. And this is the thing. I guess women can tell if a guy is comfortable around them or not, like really quickly too. The more uncomfortable the guy seems, the more the woman gets uncomfortable after a while.
Yeah.
And you can kind of reflex. But if you have somebody that is kind of like an introvert, like yourself, Zia, then both you guys being introvert, then you all got to figure that out, because meet each other halfway. Because if the guy is one of those guys that don't talk a lot too, he still has that pressure because he's the guy, and this is how society has it, that the guy has to push those conversations, when the woman can do it too. I mean, I think the woman can do it too. I mean, the woman can start off conversations. It can keep things going. As I said, it's just the pressure of the whole thing. As a guy, I can see where a lot of guys will be nervous. This guy almost fell in the water, and then the other one is
taking his hat off and putting it back on. That's
but
hilarious.
I think either he's OCD or he's just really, or he's just really nervous.
It's like, if it's gonna be a good day, let me put this hat here 5 times. And if I put it 5 times, that means it's gonna go good. And he could be OCD, you never know. But
and then it's probably just the pressure of him
being on a date,
because he's probably just super nervous. And then again, he has to kind of create the narrative of what's going on. But it's a lot of pressure for guys too. Now you had another question about the
just one more question
before we wrap it up.
Yeah, before we wrap it up. Does your potential, because I know all of you guys want to get married in the near or far future. Does your potential spouse have to be faith-based?
Absolutely.
That's a good question.
Yes. And yes. Believe in Jesus, not stars and constellations. Like, I need to hear you claim this whole I'm spiritual. What type of spirits is give me a who do you pray to? Like, you can pray to a sun god. You know what I mean? I need it needs to be a clear distinction of where you are, what you're doing as far as being faith-based.
So what if he has all the good qualities, right, that you guys are looking for, but he's not faith-based, but it's someone that you could possibly, he's not opposed to it, so it's someone you could possibly bring into your faith. Is that a deal breaker? Or what if he's
a atheist?
What if not even just an atheist? It's I'm just saying, he doesn't have a belief one way or another, but he's good in all the
I get it.
other,
a lot of people are like that, actually. Yeah. This generation, a lot of people, that I see that she mentioned the stars and constellation thing. Yeah, because a lot of people nowadays are into the rocks and I hate to call them rocks, the crystals and the stars and your chakra and all that. So that's a bit much for me. Like, I'd prefer you not to like be a Satanist or something. I can deal with most things, because I have met men before that were raised like Islamic. And like, they're very respectful and very, but it's just, I'm sure it's going to become a culture clash once, you decide to have kids or marriage. How does the wedding go when one of you is Muslim and one's Christian? So I think it's best to come to an agreement on like how we're going to go about it, because like, spirituality is important. Like, you know, do you pray to God? Are you going to pray for our kids to God? Like, you know, I don't want you praying to somebody else for the same kids I'm praying for. That's kind of so I prefer someone that at least has an open mind to the spirituality aspect. Like, it's okay that you might not have been raised Christian in a church, but if I took you and you had a great experience, would you be willing to delve into that deeper?
Got it.
Makes sense.
And also, even with being Christian, like being biblically based Christian, right? So not adding in all these opinions of what you think the Bible said, what did it say though? You know, like I can say, I feel like it wants to do this, or this is what they were trying to say. No, but some of the things that you're saying you feel is a clear, distinct, like, narrative of what it is, and we try to manipulate and maneuver around what it says. Like, anything like that, I kind of pull away from as well. Just to be hot, open, and transparent, I've dated an atheist and it didn't work for me. Like, there was no coming to Jesus moment for him, and I don't think it's not my cross to bear to, I think, bring him to Jesus like that, you know. However, I have seen friends that he wasn't necessarily full on Christian at the time. He just was still discovering himself, and they are devout Christians. They waited for marriage. They didn't kiss until their wedding day.
Wow.
So his understanding of it, he took it upon himself once he was introduced, and it came out to be very successful. However, for me and my house, I haven't had that success, and I just don't want anyone to drag me to hell. So I just opted out of the option to continue to, you know, date individuals who aren't biblically sound or Christian based. It's just not my portion, you know. Great job for anyone else who can do it. That's awesome.
It's a huge no-go for me. I am actually a preacher. So those are very strong questions that happen initially. Hi, what's your name? What do you believe? Do you know Jesus? Before we get too deep in, because I don't got time to get in and I got to find this out. No. And for me, I've done the friendship evangelism where, hey, let's try to introduce you to Jesus. Those days are long gone. I am not trying to introduce nobody in a relationship setting. You gonna come in knowing them. However, if you don't, we can be friends and I can introduce you to him, but we're not gonna be dating and I introduce you to him. And that's just for me. Spiritually, I will frustrate you. Spiritually, you will frustrate me. And so before we could get anywhere, I'd just be annoyed because I'm like, no, it's a no-go. So, you know, you got to know God. What do you believe? Those are the type of questions that I've learned that I have to ask. Like, Jamala, what you believe? No, let me ask that. Because everybody try to mix a whole lot of stuff. No, that's not the book, sir. That's not the God of the Bible. That's not it. That's not it.
It's true. I was on a mission. It didn't work. I ended up with an atheist. I don't know what happened.
Wow, guys, these are all valid, like, especially in this last one, the faith-based, these are some valid points. These are interesting points, actually, for, you know, a man coming into a relationship, per se, to look forward to marriage with a woman that is faith-based. This is so important because a lot of women feel this way. And even this is so interesting to me because I've been with my husband for so long. So to hear your lives and to see exactly where you guys are coming from, actually all of it was like really interesting. And I am so appreciative of you guys being so open and honest to share this, because I think this is going to help a lot of men, and this will help a lot of women, because sometimes some women may feel like they're doing something wrong and, you know, things are off, but now they'll know that, okay, so it's not just me. There are other women out there that are feeling the same exact thing that I'm feeling. So it's not me that's being weird. And no, I don't have to settle, because I have. And by the way, all these three women are successful in their own right. So they're successful women out there, young women that are doing their thing, and they're deciding not to settle. And I'm talking about from the restaurant to the church. They're not settling for any parts of the foolery, okay? So I really appreciate you guys for like letting us in, LMC, in today.
Yes, thank you guys. Yeah, I mean, just basically to wrap things up, the moral of the story here is that I'm right. And
The
Debbie's
moral
wrong.
of the moral of the
This is how
story.
the story
Men
is.
are never right.
The moral of the story
We
is
just let you have it sometimes. Not this one.
I'm saying
Rick.
no because
Sorry.
because even though I hear what you
struggle
guys
is
are
real.
saying, I hear what you guys are saying with all the different topics that we went over, but for the most part, whenever a guy does something chivalrous, it seems like you guys respond very positive to it. I haven't heard. Yeah, so yeah, I'm saying like, fellas, you know, ladies are watching out for these kind of things, and it just kind of seems like, okay, maybe the guy grew up this way, maybe this is what he was taught, and of course, if he's doing this for me right now, not putting too much expectation on him after that, but I'm just saying if he's doing that just for me now, this probably is coming to him very naturally for him to do.
Right.
And he's not forcing this. So and again, they can feel that if you're forcing it or, you know, so anyway.
So don't send your representative because they'll know.
They'll know right away. Girls will know. They'll be like, yeah, he's doing this. Yeah, I know why he's doing this. It's not. I can tell it's not genuine.
Right.
You know, but you can tell when a guy's just like friendly and he's like, oh, let me get your chair. Let me get a. You know, women can feel that. But anyway, so thank you all so much again for joining us today.
This was so good, y'all. It was really good.
I want to thank our guests, Zia,
Jamala.
Let's talk about Rachel, Shelly. You know, so we thank you so much for being a part of this, and I think we learned a lot today when it comes to that.
I know I did. I hope y'all men did. You know what I'm saying? Because if y'all want find good women that are gonna be with y'all through thick and thin, then y'all gonna have to change some things. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to step it up. All right?
Yeah, it seems that
step
way.
it up.
So again, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Until next week, you know, go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and like. Go ahead and comment down below. Tell us what you think about it. Go ahead and smash that notification button, and we will see you guys next week. Peace out. LMC.
Peace.
All right, great job, guys.
Yay! That's a wrap.
That is it.
The rings, please.
Oh God! No! Oh my God! Oh my God!
Oh my God.
Are you okay?
Oh my God.
This episode is brought to you by Life Boost Coffee, the healthiest, tastiest cup of coffee possible. Pesticide-free, low acid, and GMO-free. I know we need our Life Boost coffee to start our day. Go to the Life Boost link in description to receive 50% off your purchase.